by now you have heard Tiger Woods is returning to golf at the Masters in just a few weeks. He has, of course, been out since his crash the day after Thanksgiving, and the news of multiple affairs came to light. We are happy to have with us Jason Page of ESPN Radio's The Back Page with Jason Page. Jason, thanks for joining us on your day off. Nonetheless, I appreciate it. So let's talk about Tiger. He's been dragged through the mud. I mean, his own doing, of course. But is there any indication that the scrutiny is going to end once he gets on the golf course?
Well, it'll end at the Masters. He'll get some questions early on when he's at the Masters on that first Tuesday, and the media will, and he's going to have a choice to make. Either he's going to answer questions, and he's going to answer everything, just say, look, one time only. Ask what you want to ask. I might answer, I might not, but one time only. We'll talk about the non-golf stuff, and then after that, that's it. That's what a lot of pro athletes are doing these days. They'll give one chance. I want to see if he gives people that one chance.
Yeah, I'm wondering, do you think he should? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really...
He's going to have to do one sit-down, whether it's the Oprah, Barbara Walters, Katie Couric, you know, whether he does one of those tell-alls or not. He's going to have to do it somewhere.
Right.
Either he can do it in front of all the golf media, or he can choose to do it in a one-on-one, more controlled setting. And knowing Tiger... And he's a control guy. You know, he likes to control every facet of his career. Maybe he decides to go that route. Maybe he does the one-on-one instead.
Yeah, because I heard them saying, should he have another press conference? And I was like, what? Like, why would he have another press conference? I mean, I could see him doing Oprah or something. Is there one question that if you had the opportunity, I mean, about the non-golf stuff, that you would say, this is my question?
I don't think you can get away with one question because I think this story has a lot of layers. I think this is something that goes back to Tiger Woods, you know, his childhood or lack thereof. It's almost like a child entertainer. You have to treat Tiger as if he were a child entertainer. And how many times do we see child entertainers that go off the tracks when they get older because they don't have a childhood? Tiger, you have to almost treat it the same way.
Right.
So you know, where do you go? Do you say, okay, well, where did it go wrong? I think there's so many other. I think there's so many questions to be answered.
How do you think he's going to do on the golf course?
I think he'll be fine. I think anybody who thinks that he's going to go to the Masters, and I've seen some Vegas betting lines where people are saying 3-to-1 odds on Tiger Woods to win the Masters, I think is absurd. I will say right now on this show, Tiger Woods will not win the Masters. No, I don't care what anybody thinks. I give you my word. Tiger Woods is not going to win the Masters.
But isn't he practicing there now?
I don't care what he's doing. You can't. I don't care how good Tiger Woods is. You can't walk out onto a golf course, your first competitive golf event, and say, "I'm going to go win the Masters." Can't do it.
All right. Is he going to? What about for the other golfers? Is he going to be too much? Is all this going to be too much of a distraction?
I think his best chance of winning are other golfers caving, because everything for those few days is going to be so Tiger-oriented. Everything's going to be so Tiger this, Tiger that. Every question's going to be about Tiger. It's not going to be about any of the other golfers. I think that's going to wear on a lot of guys, and you know, if anybody can handle that kind of pressure, it certainly is Tiger.
Well, and God bless the guys who have to be in his, you know, in his
if you're in his
twosome,
group.
But
again, Augusta National, people don't understand. Augusta National, they don't just let any media member in. TMZ's not going to be there. Entertainment Tonight's not going to be there. It's going to be golf media. It's going to be sports media. It's not going to be tabloid media. That's why he chose Augusta.
All right. Well, we will see how he does. Let's switch gears here and talk about the University of Hartford women, a much more positive story. Talk about how big of a deal is it that they got this at-large bid?
Look, I mean, it's the first one in the history of the conference. Jen Rosati's done a fantastic job, a disciple of Gino Auriemma. Look, an injury for them, though, Erica Beverly getting hurt just prior to them getting into the NCAA tournament is a big loss for them. It's a big loss for Jen Rosati's team. We saw it in the fact that they lost to Vermont in the America East Conference Championship game.
Right. So they play LSU first. Jen told me, she said they are very physical, so she said she was looking forward to that. You think they have a chance?
That's their kind of matchup.
Yeah.
A physical matchup is their kind of matchup. They like to keep the score low. They're not going to score a ton of points. They're not a team that's going to shoot for a high percentage. I've had the chance to talk to Jen Rosati quite a bit. This is the kind of matchup that certainly suits Hartford. Okay,
so they could do well. And, of course, the UConn women, is that a done deal or...
Well, it's a done deal until the Final Four, and then you hope you get a matchup with Tennessee. I mean, you could potentially have, in the Final Four, to win the national title, UConn playing Tennessee, Pat Summitt versus Gino Auriemma. We know all the animosity that exists between these two sides. And then UConn playing Stanford, who was UConn's toughest opponent this year. UConn only beat them by 12 points in that first game. It was a close game at the half. I think that's all you could hope for. Just hope for close games in the women's tournament, because if UConn runs through this thing, and there's a possibility they can, if they run through this thing and win, every game by 20, 30 points, beat Tennessee by 25, beat Stanford by 30, I think in a lot of people's eyes it diminishes this amazing accomplishment. I don't think that's fair,
well, no,
but
I
it's
was
the
going to
case.
say, I just read an article in Sports Illustrated where they said that kind of an argument is really kind of a sexist argument, because they were pointing to UCLA when UCLA, or I think it was UCLA, had its big win.
But it's not a sexist argument. People who say that are looking for something to gripe about. They want to try and pick sides. Here's the bottom line.
Well, you can only win, though. You can only win against who you play.
And women's college basketball, UConn being what it is, even if you take the second team to the 10th ranked team, there's such a disparity between the second ranked team and maybe the 25th ranked team. Whereas the top 25 in men's basketball, go watch the NCAA tournament. Look at all the upsets early on in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Those don't happen in the women's game.
All right, since we're talking about men's basketball, what happened with UConn?
Do we have to?
I think we should. I think we should.
All right, look, listen. Jim Calhoun gets a contract extension. The bottom line is they need to recruit better. They need to recruit different. And if Jim's watching, Jim, stop recruiting athletes, recruit basketball players. I'm begging you. Recruit basketball players, stop recruiting athletes. We don't need guys that can jump a foot above the rim. We need guys who know how to play basketball.
And he can make a basket.
Yes.
So how long do you think he's going to be around?
Well, listen, he signed a 4-year extension. Don't be under some false illusion here that Jim Calhoun is necessarily going to be here for that entire 4 years. I'm sure he wants to be in his heart of hearts. But at the same time, Jim Calhoun staying there, a lot of things predicated on health, predicated on how good this team is. There's still an NCAA investigation that's hanging over this team like a black cloud, and nobody knows what's going to happen with that either.
All right. Lots of interesting things going on sports-wise here in Connecticut. Jason Page, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
And don't forget, if you missed something here on The Real Story, you can now watch it online by going to fox61.com. You can also catch us on YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching this week's edition of The Real Story. We'll see you here again next week.